What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your second stimulus check update. And in this video, we're going to go over why today is a very big day for the second stimulus checks, the unemployment extension, and the second stimulus package. But first, if you haven't yet, click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so. This way you won't miss out on second stimulus check update and related information. My wife and I do all the research for you every single day, so we can bring you a quick, concise video with everything you need to know. And don't forget to smash the like button for us down below. It really helps out our channel. Okay, we have two very big reasons why today is a very big day in the stimulus check world. And number one is that the Senate returns to session today. So they have been on almost a month-long recess, and that just made it so that less work could be done. They would have come back if they did come to a stimulus check agreement to vote on it, but now they're actually back in session, so all the senators can congregate, they can discuss what they want to pass in this package, they can discuss details, they can hold hearings on the floor. Being back in session is definitely a lot better than not being in session. Now, the even bigger news is that the Senate Republicans are supposed to release today their stimulus package, what they're somewhat calling a skinny bill, and we might see that released today with all the details of what will be in it. Now, we don't know the exact details of what's going to be in this bill because it hasn't been released, but we've had some statements from the White House and the Treasury Secretary and also some kind of rumors of what will be in this bill. And here is what we're expecting to be in this bill from the Republicans, is that number one is we're expecting to have an unemployment extension of $300 per week all the way to the end of the year. This is really good news because at last check, there was 29.2 million Americans still on unemployment benefits right now due to this pandemic. This is much, much higher than we have seen in the past. And this is about 20% of the entire United States workforce is out of work right now. Number two is we're expected to see more money through the PPP program, the Paycheck Protection Program, for small businesses to pay for their employees' payroll and to help them pay their paychecks of their employees, which helps employees keep their jobs and also helps small business owners not go out of business. Number three is we're expecting about $10 billion for the post office. The Republicans at first didn't want any money for the post office, and the Democrats were set on $25 billion, and it was a big issue preventing us from getting the stimulus package done. So I really think that the Republicans are throwing that in there to kind of, as a sweetener for the Democrats, kind of giving them one thing that they want. Now, there also could be liability protections, which the Republicans are completely for and the Democrats are against, for businesses to protect them from lawsuits from getting the virus, from people that may have got the virus at their place or working at their place, to help them protect those businesses. Now, I don't know how you would really know for certain that you got it at a specific place, but this liability protection would protect those businesses unless they were grossly negligent. Now, regarding stimulus checks in this bill, there's been several different things that I've been hearing. Number one is there will be no stimulus checks in this bill. Then I've also heard that there might be stimulus checks in this bill. And then I've also heard the third thing is that they might be writing a new line or some new verbiage in this bill that will allow the president for sure to pass that $300 billion that he announced, that we announced on our YouTube videos a couple days ago from his speech that he gave, that there's $300 billion sitting in an account, and he wants Congress to approve it so that he can pass it for stimulus checks. Well, there might be some verbiage in there to for sure allow him to pass a presidential executive order to pass stimulus checks and have the president do it instead of in a stimulus package. Now, I don't know if the Democrats are going to want to go for that, and I'll tell you why here in a second, but I kind of think that they're going to add this verbiage in so that they can pass stimulus checks through the presidential executive order. This way, he gets the credit instead of, Congress, the Democrats and the Republicans, that President Trump would get the credit for passing it through a presidential executive order. I kind of think the Democrats will be against that, but the Republicans have also said that this skinny bill, or this bill that they're going to be announcing possibly today and voting on this week in the Senate, could just be a starting point for the Republicans to negotiate with the Democrats. They've also said that they have been working on this bill every single morning with conference calls between the Republicans and also talking with Democrats behind the scenes, behind Nancy Pelosi's back, to kind of get what they want in the bill. And they're trying to make it a bipartisan bill so that it won't be dead on arrival. So there's two things we've heard there, is that one, this is a starting point for Republicans. They want to announce this bill and then negotiate with the Democrats. And then the second thing we've heard is that they're going to try to make it bipartisan right out the gate, which means both parties agree, bipartisan, and that they will agree right away and that they can pass this very quickly. So one, we've heard that checks won't be in this bill because it's a skinny bill, and that they might be using it as a starting point to negotiate. So the Democrats might come in and say, well, we want checks in there. And then, oh, okay, they kind of concede and give them the checks as kind of a sweetener. Number two, we've heard the checks will be in there because we know that both parties want it. But the Republicans might be trying to throw that in as a sweetener so that the Democrats kind of get some more of what they want. And the third thing that we've heard is that they might be adding verbiage in there so the president can for sure pass a bill through presidential executive order. Now, if this doesn't happen, if they don't get the stimulus checks out, I think the president's going to pass it anyways, because honestly, the money is already earmarked for stimulus, for virus relief, pandemic relief from the first stimulus package, and it's just sitting there in an account, is his words that he used. And I think that they're going to maybe try to do a little bit of negotiations, and then what he's going to say is, well, we couldn't agree, so we just decided to pass it on our own through presidential executive order, and this way I helped out many, many millions of Americans. And since that money is already earmarked for stimulus money, pandemic relief money, he can just redirect it to stimulus checks, exactly how he did with the presidential executive order for the unemployment money. It's exactly what he did. It was earmarked for disaster relief, and he basically just passed the presidential executive order to kind of shift that over to disaster relief for unemployed people. That is what he would do with the stimulus check through the presidential executive order if they can't come to an agreement. Now, I asked in the last video, and I'm going to ask you again in case you didn't see that video, will you change your vote, or will you vote for President Donald Trump if he passes these stimulus checks to you before the election and comes out and gets you the stimulus check through a presidential executive order? Will you vote for the president because he gets you these checks? Let me know if you will, yes or no. I'm very curious to see what you guys think. Also, President Donald Trump came out and said that he doesn't think the Democrats want to make a deal strictly because he is up for re-election in 55 days. As you can see here, Trump says at a news conference on Monday they don't want to make a deal after he was asked why he won't meet with Democratic leaders to negotiate. He says, I don't have to meet with them in order to be turned down. He says they think if the country does as badly as possible, even though a lot of people are being hurt, that that's good for the Democrats because President Trump won't be reelected. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, the main Democrat from California from the House, has said the sides are too far apart on spending levels to reach an agreement. Now, these are very interesting words from President Donald Trump, and I think he might be right. Nancy Pelosi basically considers President Donald Trump her arch nemesis. You know, if there's like two superheroes, President Trump is the arch nemesis of Nancy Pelosi. And she tried to have him impeached, and she basically wants to do anything she can to get him out. Now, this is kind of the age-old battle. The Democrats always kind of hate the Republicans, and the Republicans kind of always hate the Democrats. But Nancy Pelosi especially hates the president more than kind of your typical congressman or congresswoman. She has a very big disdain for him, and there's actually been some rumors talked about that she may retire even if she's reelected, if the president is reelected also, because she doesn't want to deal with several more years of the president. She's now 80 years old and has been in Congress for, I think it's 35 years. I'd have to go and back and do the math, but I think she's been in Congress for 35 years, since like 1985 or 87. And she basically might not want to put up with President Donald Trump for 4 more years if he gets reelected. So let me know your thoughts down below, what you think, and don't forget to subscribe down below. We have videos going live at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can click the bell icon if you want to get notifications when we go live. And don't forget to hit the like button or the thumbs up button down below for us if you haven't yet. And you can click on these top videos to watch my newest stimulus check videos next. And this video teaches you how to start a business selling products on Amazon FBA. I have students that have replaced their entire 9-to-5 income, and I teach them how to do that. Click on those to watch them next. Thanks, and I will see you in the next video.